Welcome to the SoulScape Show with your host and intuitive multidimensional channel and soul healer, Gabrielle Spencer. You can find all SoulScape shows and free gifts from our special guests at soulscape.tv. This is season 5. We're thrilled to have with us Christine Day. Christine has become internationally renowned as the Pleiadian ambassador. She is a gifted spiritual teacher, healer, and channel. Her 3 books, Pleiadian Initiations of Light, Pleiadian Principles for Living, and The Pleiadian Promise, brings this work to a worldwide audience. Today, Christine shares with us her amazing knowledge and frequency healing to assist you to choose the way of the Sacred Heart. Hello and welcome. This is Gabrielle Spencer, the host of the SoulScape Show. I am a multi-dimensional intuitive channel and I work with your soul. Today we have with us someone really amazing, and I say that just because she glows. It pops right off her picture. It's all around her all the time, and every time I see her, just thinking of her name makes me smile, which is a really amazing gift to have. I think that just looking at you makes me smile. So with us today, we have Christine Day, and I hope that today we will be able to share with you some amazing new information, but also information that resonates with you and helps to move you to your next level. So hello, Christine. Thank you and welcome.
Hi, Gabrielle. It's so good to be with you. I know we kind of both squeezed things in to get together and it felt so right. So I look forward to this sacred encounter with you. And with everybody out there, of course.
You know, I mean, it's amazing how things are really popping right now. Talking about popping, right?
Yep.
There's so much happening, and your specialty is the Pleiadians. So I think it's really interesting to know the role that they're playing now and how they're helping to orchestrate what is happening. Maybe orchestrate's not the right word. Maybe it's how they're assisting us with what is happening right now. So if you'll just dive in and tell us what is going on and how is it that they're helping us to navigate and integrate and all of those great words that are helping us at this time.
Well, the Pleiadians, understanding they're living an incarnation right now. A lot of people think they're in spirit form, but they're absolutely not. But they do come from a much higher evolution of unconditional love. And they're part of a universal team. So they're playing their role, and the whole universe has a collective energy around Earth right now because of the transition we're in the middle of. And the Pleiadians' role is to bring clarity and understanding to the energetic process that's going on right now, to self-empower humanity so that we can consciously take our next step and work with the energies that are coming onto the planet. So the Pleiadians are bringing the information, the light initiations in. They're also helping with the rest of the universal community to hold an energetic the space, almost like an energetic womb around the earth, to stabilize the light that is birthing currently, which is accelerating daily. We have this acceleration of light that is building daily, leading us into the new year. So that's their role.
It is accelerating to the point where it's driving people crazy.
So what's happening is the light is bringing all the density up.
Yes.
We have our human selves, we have our sacred nature. Mm-hmm. It's very simple. And the Pleiadians' role is to help you, the individual, come into the sacred component of yourself, to stabilize in that and start to make the transition, not away from your humanity, because we need our humanness. We've come here to have the human experience, but rather to understand the dynamic that needs to play out between the sacred part of ourselves and our humanity. That is our enlightenment process. So through understanding and clarity of what our journey is about, it really allows you to step forward and really begin a very accelerated awakening process. And this is the time for it. The light on the planet is enabling us to move into a much more expanded, accelerated sphere of our sacred natures that is fully intact just beyond the veil. And also to help us engage with our humanity. And it's almost like a self-resurrection process. I work very strongly also with Mother Mary and the Christ energy. They are also Pleiadian beings. And so the Christ energy of self-resurrection is that we alone, as human beings, we put ourselves up on a cross. And in this lifetime, part of the enlightenment process is to take ourselves down. And part of the most, I think the most beautiful thing is the Pleiadians reveal the illusions that have been playing out for lifetimes on the planet and keeping us in a very small, insignificant expression of ourselves, in our human selves. So what they say is, the lie that's been out there is, in order for us to become enlightened, we have to become perfect. But as a human being, we're perfectly imperfect. It's impossible for us to do things perfectly in our humanity, in our human selves. So the Pleiadians say, in order to be enlightened, we have to accept our imperfection. It's self-acceptance of our human idiosyncrasies. And as we do that, as we move into that self-acceptance and understand that everything we've done, everything we've chosen to be, all the experiences we've had have been perfect for our learning experience. And to let go of the self-judgment, the self-condemnation, and to really honor our human journey. And as we do that, we then align to the sacred part of ourselves that's totally in a perfect state just beyond the veils. So the Pleiadians bring us back into that understanding of our humanity, of loving that human part, and linking in and bringing very easy steps to link in back into the sacred part of ourselves, so that we start becoming sacred beings, and also to love, extend that self-acceptance, that self-love to our humanity, to allow a bridge to form between our human part and the sacred nature that we are. The light that's currently on the planet and that is building is designed for us to much more easily reach beyond the veil and start actively engaging through our multidimensional selves. We are naturally sacred beings, multidimensional in our abilities. And so they make it a very simple step. So all the mystery has been lifted. And so that's part of my work in the world, is bringing the initiations, bringing the illusions down so we can see clearly who we are and start embracing that part of ourselves and start working with our sacred part of ourselves at this time. So that's, part of their work.
So beautifully said and illustrated. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, that's exactly right. Oh my God.
I know.
It's so important what you just said. This issue for many spiritual people is accepting their humanity and accepting that they're not escaping to the 5D, that in order, go ahead.
Yeah. And Gabrielle, you know, it's about not feeling the shame or the guilt of your journey, but celebrating who we are and what we've gone through. We all have a story.
Right.
Now, the story is actually totally unimportant. It's kind of meaningless. It's brought us to this point in time.
Right.
We choose to let go of our stories. Then we become self-liberated to become all that we are on our multidimensional level, and hold that human part with love and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And, this was part of my journey. This is, I came from a terrible background of child ritual abuse. So I was given to a cult at 2 till I was 13. So I was really destroyed in that process. And through the evolution of my awakening, I've come from a very broken piece into self-healing. And that's really allowed, it brings a lot of emotion because there's so much love, so much was given to me through that process. And I could never, ever have arisen into who I am today without having those experiences that I pre-agreed to have, to be able to hold a beautiful platform for humanity. And I know I'm emotional here, but
it's all good because, you know, this is real, Christine. This is the beautiful piece, is that you still know, you know, sometimes when I'm channeling something and you see it, right? We see it in that multidimensional space and we lack the words, but it fills us with so peace or joy or whatever it is. And it's like, you wish, I've thought to myself so often, I wish I had like a cam in my head, like so people could experience the magnificence of what it is that's being shared, because we just lack words. You know what I mean?
Language does not. We need telepathic communion, which is
there you go.
Is coming. And we are evolving back into our telepathic abilities, into our multidimensional space of who we are. And, you know, the Pleiadians' message right now is we need to come together in communion. You see, what they're saying is we have all the galactic life force groups, all the masters, light beings, spiritual realms working with us. But ultimately, they can't do more than hold the space.
Right.
See, we have pre-agreed to come here and take the step forward. We in physical bodies are the ones to finally shift the consciousness of planet Earth. And it's going to happen as we come together in a communion, in a telepathic communion setting with each other. Because it's from that higher realm component of our own sacred natures, which we all have this unique frequency of God light that we are. And as we come together, we form, we weave this fabric of light.
Yes, we do.
Reestablishing everything that is necessary for the transition, for the pure transition of this time. And I know things look chaotic right now out there in the world. And they ask, I mean, in this country, the United States of America, it's intense. And it's building this intensity. And the Pleiadians are saying it's going to continue to build. But it's only building because of the level of light that's there. It's drawing up all of the dark energies, revealing all of the murky energy. And it's inside of us, anything we haven't resolved that we need to look at. So everything's vibrating inside of us right now. And it's not to be anything to be afraid of, the Pleiadians say. We're actually in great shape in this transitional phase right now. But there's a certain turning point, and that turning point's coming, where the shifts will be made and the transformation of planet Earth as a conscious planet will come into its 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimensional awakening. Planet Earth will never again be a 3rd dimensional planet after this incarnation. And it will transform in our lifetime. It's not going to happen in other lifetimes. We are the ones, the way showers. We have said yes to being here at this time. And each one of us needs to step forward. And it's just, and people say, well, what can I do by myself? But you know what? When the moment you link into your own heart, this is the doorway to your multidimensional sacredness, is your heart. Every time you step into that, even for one moment in time, it starts to transform the consciousness of planet Earth. It sets a pathway for others to follow. And so this is our role. Each one of us is a divine frequency of God's light. And we carry that. That is who we are. And we make a difference. I've got so much love pouring through right now.
It's wonderful.
It's just like, whoa. But anyway.
But this is the sharing part of that love and that energy. Everything you're talking about, the weaving, the fabric of our beings, the fabric of our existence, the light that we're weaving, this is so important. And it's why now it's the unity of all of that communion you talk about. This is where we are. And it is so amazing when you begin to feel that it's through you, it's through your own fabric of your being, that it's all being woven. It's fantastic.
It all exists here, right inside. From here in my heart, I sit in the central part of the universal essence of the God seed of power. And through your heart and everyone's heart out there, this is our central connector to the God light that we are.
Right.
And it's such a glorious time. And it's, the ego mind can go into all this misinterpretation and misunderstanding of, it only knows third dimensional limitation and illusion. The heart is our unlimited source of connection to our creation energy, to our manifestation energy, to the light that we are. And it's coming home to the self. And I love that. I love this process because my unfolding has nothing to do with anyone else. I'm not dependent on any outside individual or energy,
right,
or my own awakening process. And to me, that is truly glorious. That self-empowerment, self-awakening process, and that's we've been given at this time. It's really magnificent.
It is. It is all about sovereignty of self. And at the same time, being sovereign within yourself and connected fully, then you're able to weave your energy throughout and support the whole shebang, the whole thing. So it's a process, but it's amazing. And when you're connected, it's just, you're never alone. And I find that for so many, that's what they feel, is that it's hard to know that there's really something out there. Now, I have a question. I have a question for you because it came to me while I was getting ready this morning. I'm curious, is there, and what is it, if there is, a connection between the Pleiadians and the golden beings of light?
There's an absolute connection. Understand there is no separation within the universe. Pleiadians are part of the God consciousness states. The golden beings of light are part of the God consciousness state. They come together in the unity of the one, where there is truth exists, where there is the truth of all things, all living things within the universe, and where they work in a synchronized communion together perfectly, because there's no competition. There's just each person and each group creating a sacred synergy at this point in time. And and understand this. People say, well, what is in it for the Pleiadians working on Earth? Well, you could say that for all the life force groups in the universe, and including the spiritual realms, in that they are waiting for planet Earth to take their rightful place within this universe. And that brings emotion, because planet Earth has never fully self-realized itself, ever. But finally, it's resonating with the rest of the universe for the first time.
Wow.
The magnetic core is sending out a pulse that aligns with the pulse that runs through our resonant universe. That's never happened before. And so Earth is starting to reposition itself energetically on a multidimensional level with the rest of the universe. But the rest of the universe is waiting for us humans, our magnificent spiritual beings that we are, to form a collective communion to shift the consciousness state of Earth so that we can fully play our role in the rest of the universe. That means our whole universe upgrades within this God seat of power. So they're waiting on us because we are part of that collective vision that must be fulfilled at this point before the rest of the universe can shift in its alignment to the God seat of power. So they are all playing their role to support Earth, but ultimately we have to be the ones, those of us in physical bodies have to be the ones to make the steps within the communion, which we are doing. It is happening. And so it's really important to understand that we all evolve to another level once Earth rejoins our collective energy of the universe.
I was thinking to myself as you were talking, I was thinking, so to put it easily, the Earth is in the same process as each one of us humans about becoming sovereign with self and being fully connected in order to move into your rightful place and regain who you really are and part of the potential of who you really are, because it's a continuous expansion, and that's amazing.
It is, and I think it's important for people to understand this piece and remember, like we've all forgotten we said yes to being here at this time, or some of us have. And so we're in the illusion of all the drama and going, oh my gosh, this is in the fear and in the struggle of the human dynamic. We know
right.
That the illusion, the drama. And all one needs to do is start choosing to connect into the heart, choosing to come home, to remember the pre-agreements we made.
Right.
And then guess what? Within that space, there is no fear. There is only peace, truth, clarity, understanding, knowing, knowledge. You reconnect back to the sacred part of yourself that's waiting for you. It's really, those energies are waiting for each one of us to consciously choose this reconnection and reunion. Right. And it's nothing new. It's just reconnection. It's reunion. It's like, there's nothing you have to do. You just have to choose to be here. And it's one moment at a time, Gabrielle. It's not perfectly, because we can't do it perfectly because we're human. But for every moment you choose connection to your heart, every cell in your body transforms.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, so important. The heart is the gateway. It is all important. And it does help you to remember while you're here and going through daily life that there's a reason, and it's all good. You just have to breathe.
Yeah, you have to use the conscious breath. Now, the best breath is the conscious breath. It's the Pleiadian breath. It's breathing in the mouth and out the mouth. And that breath says, yes, I'm willing to let go. Because as humans, we do this. We hold on a lot. And yes, I'm willing to receive my light. And when you use that conscious breath, even once a day, everything starts to shift. Your alignments start to shift from your ego mind down into your heart. So it's you reclaiming you with every breath you take, that conscious breath. And it's just, and you don't have to use it all the time. Just every now and again, it's a conscious breath in the mouth and out the mouth. It bypasses the ego mind and starts to move you out of that drama, the fear, the worry, the struggle, the old habits, the old sabotaging patterns. And when you use the conscious breath, you start to shed the old guilt, the shame, the old burdens, the feelings of not being okay, not good enough. You know, that's the ego mind, that misperception of the ego mind.
It also helps bring the ego mind into alignment with your soul.
Mhm.
This is the part I've long said, you cannot get rid of any aspect of yourself. There's no killing off the ego. You
No,
must bring it into,
good.
I've heard,
We need our ego minds.
exactly. I
We
mean,
need it running our lives. It's like we need it to organize ourselves, if we're
sure,
making shopping lists.
right.
I use
Function here in the 3D.
Yeah, and I don't use a calculator on purpose. I allow my ego mind to add all the figures because I channel so much.
Mm-hmm.
It has its very important roles. So
Mm-hmm.
it adds my figures up, it helps me organize, pack, do lots of things. But it does not run my life, and it never ever makes my decisions, important decisions.
So important. This is so important.
It is. It is.
I can't even express that enough. The importance and understanding the role and taking out of the control position, which is the third dimensional position of the ego mind.
Lifetimes. We've had lifetimes of doing
Yes,
it.
we have.
Yes, and now it's over. It's over if you choose to allow it to be over. Then you end the struggle, the suffering. You know, how much longer do you want to suffer? It's always the ego mind, it's wanting, it's misperception that creates the suffering. When you come into the heart, you realize there's no suffering, everything's in hand.
Right.
And you can actively wait within your heart for the door to open, for you to just effortlessly walk through rather than trying to bang on a door that's closed, that isn't where you're supposed to be going. So the heart allows you to move back into a sacred flow, your own sacred flow. And in that current, in that light, you know, you're just moved in position where you're supposed to be in this time, at this time.
Yes, exactly.
We get to rest, you know, we get to rest. There's so many people exhausted out there just trying to get it right, trying to do it perfectly. And that creates an inner exhaustion and tiredness that, you know, just wears you down and you just feel worn out. You know, you want to give up. It's too hard.
Right.
It's too much.
And it makes you question, and then you start a spiral downward instead of upward.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of pitfalls to the mind getting hold of something. It's like a dog with a bone. It just doesn't quit.
It never stops. It just gets more and more magnified. The ego just magnifies it over and over again. And there's no truth, no basis of truth to what the ego mind is perpetrating on you. And I think a key piece is understanding you don't have to answer the questions of the ego mind. You don't have to give it an answer.
That's brilliant. I mean, I use the practice, or have in the past, where if your mind is zipping along and it just will not shut up, to om. And I have my clients om even when I put, you know, I'm like, okay, it's time to be quiet, and, you know, the energy is going to work. And, you know, that's hard for people. You know, that's why they have such trouble with meditating. It's because the mind just keeps going and going. So I tell them, just om to yourself, because it's a simple thing your mind can do, and you can help that along without it being too, you know, what were the words and all the other things that your mind will then do, right? And so it's easier for people because then your mind helps you versus sabotaging you or getting in the way and interfering.
The ego mind doesn't mean any harm. This is what we have to understand. It just doesn't know what its role is. So if you
following its programming, though,
it's this cycle of the sabotaging patterns, and that's what it knows. And anything outside that, it starts to have alarm bells ring. So it is important to allow the ego mind to be part of the process, but not run the process.
Yes.
And it's like a small child, you know, a 2-year-old child, if it thinks you don't want it around, it hangs on like a grip of iron. You know,
Yes.
it's the worst thing you can do.
That's
Is
right.
that I want them around. But, you know, the ego mind needs love, compassion, patience. We need to extend that to our human parts and learn to laugh at ourselves a little bit and not take it all too seriously, because this is the illusion. This is the play out of the drama, and it's not going to stop right now anytime soon. So what I would say is, you know, start beginning the practice of a moment at a time in your own heart. You know, using that conscious breath. The yoms are good. The conscious breath is also very empowering because it's you choosing to do it differently. The moment you start the conscious breath, you start to break the cycles of the sabotage inside of you. You'll never be the same again. It'll never be quite as gripped.
Right.
When you break the cycle on some level, and the cells in your body actually start reflecting and carrying another level of your sacred light with that conscious breath.
I was just laughing to myself thinking, okay, so for me, and a lot of what I speak about is not that we fall off the horse or the wagon or whatever it is, and we get mad or we feel guilty or whatever the emotion part of it is that we deem that's not good, don't think that, don't do that, etc. Where, you know, that part of ourselves reprimands, right?
Judgment, self-judgment.
Yeah. And so the part that I find most interesting and fun and what I celebrate is how quickly I actually come through it just naturally on its own, like it just allowing it to pass. Things happen, but it is what you were talking about. It's when you grab onto it and go, oh, I feel this. And then you really internalize it. And then you start thinking about it and you expand it and all this other stuff. It's okay to feel these things. What matters is, okay, I feel it, and you just allow it to, like, I'm thinking of a tumbleweed, just allow it to tumble on through and move on.
And you know what? The conscious breath, when you use that, when you go into the feeling, it cycles out of the body. It doesn't recycle back in the body.
Okay.
It's a layer of feeling coming up for you to experience because you didn't experience it at a certain moment. You use the conscious breath. You let yourself go deeply towards that feeling. You don't push it away. You embrace it, but use the conscious breath, and then it can cycle right out of the body. And that is a very key piece to understanding. We have layers inside of us. The universe sends mirrors to us of what we haven't resolved inside of ourselves. So it's not like, oh, here this comes again. No, here's another layer for me to feel so it can leave the body. So you're actively self-empowered, breathing, using the conscious breath and letting those feelings, you open into the fullness of them, use the conscious breath and let it cycle out of the body. So it's not like you're out of control. Oh, here's another layer. Yeah. We all have core issues, these core issues. It's coming up. Oh, here it is one more time. Oh, will this ever end? Yes, it will end. Yes. It may feel endless. But if you open to, oh, here's another layer. I feel excited in myself when something comes up. I breathe it. I go, whoa, here's another layer that I'm going to let go of right now. And you use that conscious breath. And you're waking and letting go and consciously being self-empowered by what is coming up inside of you from whatever's pushing your buttons right now. It's just a learning process of who we are within our vulnerable human components. You know, and the more we understand that human part of ourselves, the more we can hold ourselves with this love and compassion when the fear comes up, or the anger comes up, or the rage, or the hatred. I mean, people are afraid of feelings, but they're just a feeling. They don't define us.
Yes.
And so it's energy. One's not more. There's love, there's hatred. Is one more than the other? No, not really. The ego mind wants to make one wonderful and the other one scary. No, it's just a feeling, an expression in the moment that is inside of you, and you don't have to justify it either. You can just be in it, allow it to come up, use the conscious breath, and it's gone. And that creates the health for the human ego to know it's okay to feel. You know, we're alive.
Right.
We're allowed to feel. And one feeling or another is no different.
I love it. I think that's very powerful. And I hope that people can just bring that within themselves, even if you don't totally understand it or you're not sure how to do it, just ask for guidance in the moment. Would you agree? How would you say?
What I would say is, if a feeling's there, you have a reason. You don't have to justify it. It's okay to feel whatever it is. So the feeling will come up. Maybe you're just really angry. Now, the first thing the ego mind will want to say is, oh, push it down. You know, no, that's not a good feeling. I'm not supposed to express that. You know, no, let it consume me. Let it run right through me, because, you know, the edge of hate and love are just, they're on one edge together. It's just energy, life force. You know, it's fire. So the anger is an important element. The feelings are an important element to be utilized.
Mm-hmm.
And the human part has been suppressed. You know, smile when you're taught to smile when you're angry. Oh no, you shouldn't be angry. Don't show people that feeling. That feeling's not okay. So a lot of people have been put in that container.
Yes.
And so then they have this smile, but the smile isn't a real smile.
Mm-hmm.
It makes them depressed. You get depressed when you suppress those feelings of anger, because you've been programmed as a child, maybe, or society. Oh my gosh, people are very uncomfortable with anger or any sort of confrontation or anything that's real. I mean, real, authentic, you know? No, that doesn't feel good to me. I mean, no, okay. Or someone bumps into, oh, I'm sorry. You know, everything's all right. Oh, there's sorry for everything. There's sorry for existing. So there's all that energy, all inside, that creates depression, illness, feeling of hopelessness, helplessness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about giving yourself a break. You give it to yourself. When anger's there, whether there's a person there or not, you can let the anger come up and use that breath and let yourself work through it. It's not about putting the anger on anyone else. It's about just feeling the depth of the anger, the depth of your feeling, and accepting yourself in that feeling, in that moment, with the breath. And guess what? It won't last.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't define you. It just is a feeling that needs to be expressed. And might be from lifetimes. It might be from how many times have you been put down or made small or not been seen, or, I mean, we create all these scenarios to have chances to feel the anger,
Right.
You know, to express whatever the feelings are, not being loved, not being accepted, not being really accepted by a group. And people say, well, that happens to me all the time. Well, that's inside of you. It has nothing to do with the people. You're creating the experience. So it's about doing some internal work and and not just moments of it. It doesn't have to be all the time. But it's a matter that can transform your experience, your outer experience in the world. Where you start to appreciate who you are. You know?
Yes. That is absolutely where we are. And this is the very important critical pieces to moving into or shifting into that next level of your heart, is doing this work. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I think the pandemic has been perfect. It's not finished yet, because it's pushed people to be with themselves, to slow down. We've been forced into certain situations and not feeling in control. It's bringing up tremendous anger, depression, feelings that, and it's made us stop. And this is an incredible time to really feel what's going on inside of you, and utilizing this sacred time. This is part of it, part of the process.
I agree. It is just part of the process. It is not the be all end all. We will not stay here. That's a positive. No. And the more of us who are doing I think, perceiving it in that way and working with it and allowing, like you said, everything to come up, doing the breath. I keep hearing sacred breath. So doing the breath, and that this will help shift not just yourself, but your family, your community, and the planet as a whole. And that's the beauty of when we do energy work, is that it benefits everyone, no matter what. It's amazing. So with that, would you like to lead us into a healing with the light?
Absolutely. Sorry. How long do we have?
About 10 minutes.
Okay.
A little bit more if you need it.
Well, let's see what happens. So what I want to say to each one of you. Akomana she'o. Deke hoya ta inea. She'o me she'o me she'o. Hea she'o me she'o. I want you to bring both palms of your hands connecting to the full chest area. This is your heart space. Just feel the warmth or the pressure of your hands on your chest. Understanding your heart space goes well beyond your physical body. This is the doorway to your heart. I want you to let your awareness just open a little bit into the space, whether you see, sense, or feel the energy. Just feel the warmth or the pressure of your hands on your chest. And with it, I want you to take one conscious breath that's in the mouth and out the mouth, and placing it into the space like a soft wind, right into the heart space. Eshata ine a, eshe om, eshe om, eshe om. That's it. Now let your awareness just open a little further. Whether you see, sense, or feel, it doesn't matter. Just allow your awareness to move into the doorway of your heart. Let your awareness come in a little more. Take one more conscious breath in and out the mouth, and place it again like a soft wind right through the heart space. Ashata ine a. Eshe om, eshe om, eshe om. And I'm going to come right into your heart. I'm going to lift a veil out of the heart space, a veil that is ready to be released through you. I'm just gently going to come in and release this veil from your heart. Just lifting it out effortlessly. It's old restrictions and limitations about receiving. Your worth of receiving. That's it. I'm just lifting that right out, and it's coming right out from the heart space and from the base of the throat. I want to keep your hands on your heart, but bring your awareness just into the base of your throat. This is the divine access point. It's where the light of yourself flows through, and it's part of your sacred heart. Now just let your awareness come into the base of your throat, and then take a conscious breath and place it right into the throat, just like a soft wind. I'm just going to lift something out of the base of your throat. Ashata ine a. Eshe om. Eshe o. Eshe o. That's it. Lifting this restricted energy out. Again, it's a veil coming away. It's going to allow a greater flow of your own light to open through the base of your throat. It's about you saying yes. So take a conscious breath and let go right into your throat. Ashata'i. Ha! Eshe om, eshe om, eshe om. That's it. That's it. Now let your awareness open a little further through your throat area and feel how as you do that, the heart space is beginning to open just a little more, because the throat and the heart are part of the sacred heart. That's it. That's it. Now allow your awareness just to open a little more. It's like allow your awareness to expand right through the space of your heart and your throat. I'm going to bring in some sounds. I want you to just let the sounds free flow within the space that you see, sense, or feel. That's it. Now let your awareness open a little further. Take another conscious breath right through the space that you see, sense, or feel. Just let your awareness open. Take one more conscious breath right through the space. Ashata ine. That's it. That's it. Just letting your awareness move deeper within the space that is being revealed here into your heart. Take one more conscious breath and let go right into the heart space that you see, sense, or feel. Ashata ine. Ha, ha, ha. That's it. I'm going to lift something else out of the heart space. Old limitation, old restriction. That's it. Just falling away, just pulling out of your heart. That's it. That's it. Now you're going to bring a sound, a frequency of a sound into your heart cells. I want you to listen to the sound. Just listen first. But as you bring this sound into the heart cells, your heart cells are going to begin to open like a flower would open to the sun. Respond to the frequency of your sound. But just take in my sound first. Take a conscious breath and let go. Let your awareness open a little further. I'm going to bring the sound in once more, and then you're going to make the sound in a moment. Just take the sound in once more. That's it. Let your awareness open a little further. It's like claiming ownership of this space of your heart. That's it. Now you're going to bring the sound in. N-T-E. And the E is expanded. You're going to bring one sound right through this space of your heart where you find yourself. Just place the sound like an echo right through the space. Just once now. N-T-E. N-T-E. Now opening your awareness. You see, sense, or feel the essence of your sound. See or witness how the energy of your heart is like opening up. It's like a light is opening up through the heart in response to your unique frequency of this sound. That's it. Take one conscious breath and let go. You see, sense, or feel the essence of the light within your heart expanding. That's it. Just let your awareness open a little further and take one more conscious breath and let go, which aligns you deeper within the space within your heart. Akashata I she om dai ine a. She om she o. Now you're going to bring the sound once more through the space where you find yourself. Ente I. Just once now. Ente I. That's it, just letting go. Let your awareness open a little further and letting go and letting go and letting go. Ashata ine a. That's it, moving, aligning into the essence that you see, sense, or feel, expanding within your heart space. Now gently and slowly, you're going to start just bringing your hands off your heart. As you move your hands slowly away from the heart space, it's like you're opening another doorway of your heart. As you move your palms off your chest, it's like a doorway is opening and you're entering another space of your multidimensional heart. That's it. Just let your awareness move through the opening that your hands are creating. It's like entering this doorway, this space of light. Whether you see, sense, or feel the essence of it, allow your awareness to fill the space, to open right through the space. And take one more conscious breath in and out the mouth and just let go, which aligns you deeper, anchors you deeper within your heart. That's it. Now take one more conscious breath and let go. Right through the space, claiming this space. Now you're going to place your sound right into the space where you find yourself. Ente I, just once now, right through the space. Ashata I. Ente I. That's it. Taking one more conscious breath and just letting go within the space. Feeling yourself being received, drawn into the space like a magnet by the light, your heart. Akashata I, she om dai ine a. She om, she o, she o. And then very gently, starting to bring your hands and your awareness back to touching your physical chest. And as you do, the essence of the light of your heart is flowing with you. It's flowing with you right into the physical cells of your heart. Shata ine a. She om, she o, she o. That's it, letting your awareness come all the way into your physical chest where your hands are physically connecting you. That light flowing, flooding into the heart cells. It's great work, everyone. Take one more conscious breath. Place it right through the heart cells. Akoshata ine a. Eshe om, eshe o, eshe o. And I wish to honor each one of you and all that you are in this moment. So be it.
Thank you. So beautiful. So much happened. And it's amazing. I just have no words, Christine. You are just an amazing being of light. And I just thank you so much for that sharing and all that you are and embody for the rest of us to see, to follow, to share with. Gosh, it's just amazing. I really appreciate you. What a love you are.
Well, thank you, Gabriella. It's been very special. I really appreciate our sacred connection. It feels very special and joyful.
Thank you. I'm just blown away. So we have to bring our time to an end, which is sad. I hope you will come back to the SoulScape show in the future, and we can do it live for everyone. But you're just such a gem. I appreciate you very much. Everyone, Christine has a very special free gift for you, and it can be found out at the soulscape.tv website under Christine Day. And please, I'm sure it is just as beautiful as what we've just received, and even more so because you get to replay it all the time. And as we all know, the more that we listen to these things, even this last transmission she just did, it helps you with those layers we talked about earlier, just continually releasing them and connecting you on a higher and higher level, which is really when you get to realize the magnificence of just your part in the whole thing. It's just amazing, right? And each one of us, how important we are to assisting the entire planet in her journey and all of humanity, which is an amazing job. It's an amazing job, and it can be hard, but we're together, and that's what matters. So, Christine, go ahead. What did you want to say? Tell me.
Just that we're not alone, and through the connection comes from our heart to everybody else. That is where we connect. That is where we truly need to live. And so that unfolding is so essential right now.
Critical. All right, my love. Thank you so much. Mwah. And to everyone out there, we love you too. Thank you for sharing and joining with us. Much love, everyone. See you all next week on the SoulScape show. Bye-bye.